G'day guys, and welcome back to the start of another epic adventure. You have stumbled across us right here at the infamous Inskip Point in Queensland, Australia. This one has been a real long time coming, and in this adventure we're going to be tackling one of Australia's biggest bucket list destinations in Fraser Island. We've been talking about this trip for ages, we've been planning this trip for ages, and it has been a really long time since I have actually visited Fraser, and I'm super keen. And I'm really keen to show you guys around Fraser Island as well, as it's really paradise here on earth. So over the next 10 days we're going to be touring across Fraser Island. We're not going to be staying in one particular place, and fingers crossed, if everything goes to plan, we're going to be showing you guys the best that Fraser Island has to offer. I'm really keen, guys. Make sure you are too. Fraser is a massive bucket list destination for pretty much everyone who's into four-wheel drive touring in Australia. It's absolutely incredible over there, and I really cannot wait to show you guys around. To start things off though, we are camped at the infamous Inskip Point, and in order to access this island paradise, we have to tackle one of the most notorious bog holes in Australia, right up there at the point. Really keen. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully none of us get featured on the I Got Bogged at Inskip Point Facebook page, but we'll see how that goes. To be honest, it's really crazy to think that it's just there. That is Fraser Island, and we're about to be on there, about to begin 10 days of adventure through there in some of the most remote parts of the island. I'm really keen. So let's get into this adventure. Well, we did it, and no one got bogged. Here's the time where we say goodbye to mainland Australia and hello to Fraser Island. Well, it felt so amazing to finally be on Fraser Island after all this planning. Everyone was buzzing and ready for one epic adventure. This trip we had the crew back and they were as keen as ever, with Dad in the Ranger, Jake in the Nav and Lockie in the Patrol, not to mention myself, Ryan, in the Pajero. This trip was led by our good friend Steve from Mudducks 4-wheel drive touring, who'd swapped out his trusty 200 for the Ranger for this adventure. Now we were off the barge, it was time to begin exploring this island paradise, and the very first stop was Eurong. But first we had to get there, and that meant trading in the beautiful beach and tackling the Great Walk Inland Access Track. We'd never been in this way before, so you know what that means. Bring on the adventure. We have left the beach and headed for the inland track, as the tide is pretty well all the way up in one section and makes the main beach impassable. So we're on the inland track, and our very first destination is Yurong Beach Resort, where we are going to be stopping for a pie. Is it really a trip to Fraser if you don't go to Yurong for a pie? Absolutely not. So that's going to be our first stop, and then from there just going to suss things out and maybe head out towards Central Station for our first camp. Really keen. The inland track is designed to give access to the main beach when the tide is up and the beach is undrivable in the slimmer areas around the south end of the island. It was an absolute breeze, and it wasn't long before we're around the impacted tidal area and onto the main beach. So here we are at Yurong Beach Resort here on Fraser. We've stopped off for a pie here, sort of a tradition of Steve's that he's got, and Yurong is actually sort of familiar for me as well, as we usually stay here whenever we come here. So this is actually going to be the first time on the island for us, camping the whole time. So it's going to be an epic experience. So we're going to start off things just here and then make our way inland for the first portion of the trip. Absolutely beautiful beach drive back there, and the inland track was a little bit of fun, so I'm keen to see what the rest of the day brings. Yurong is one of only a few major resupply points on the island. You can find all your necessities here in case you're running low. There's also a massive resort that is great to use as a base to explore the island. We, however, were here for the fresh pies at the bakery, and they certainly didn't disappoint. What a way to start this adventure. Well, pies have been eaten, so we're off now to our first campsite, which is going to be inland at Central Station. We're going to spend the next couple of days there exploring some of the inland lakes and stuff. So yeah, looking forward to that. Let's get into this journey. Central Station is accessible via the main inland track from Yurong. It's not difficult, and it's a great place to use as a base to explore the inland region. It's a pretty nice drive, changing from bushland to a thick, dense rainforest the further inland you go. This is due to the dune structure of the island, and it was pretty epic to drive through. Righto, here we are. We made it to tonight's camp spot. We are at Central Station at the moment. It's this beautiful little secluded spot down amongst the rainforest. So this rainforest covers a majority of the inland section of Fraser Island. It's really, really beautiful, has an awesome atmosphere down through here. So we're going to be spending the next couple of nights here actually as we explore the inland region of Fraser Island. There's a ton of inland freshwater lakes that we're going to be checking out that are on our bucket list. So we're ticking them off over the next 3 days as we camp here. It's such a beautiful spot. So peaceful. I love the rainforest atmosphere. Can't wait to set up camp and just sort of relax for the afternoon and yeah, so that's sort of the plan for today. We're just going to have a relaxing afternoon around camp, and then tomorrow we'll begin exploring the area and the inland lakes. Really looking forward to it, because there are some beautiful ones out there. There are some really well-known ones like Lake Mackenzie, and some other lesser known about ones that we're going to check out too, so really keen for that. Anyway, let's get set up here in this beautiful spot. Well, here we are bright and early at Central Station. A great first camp on the island last night. It was really cool down in here. Something about this rainforest though is that it feels really late, when in fact it's not, due to the tree cover actually blocking out a lot of the sun. I think it was only like 7:30 or something when we all retreated off to bed because it felt so late. Anyway, it was really peaceful down in here last night, so quiet. I mean, you couldn't hear anything but just nature, which was really awesome about this spot. So today's to-do list, our first day of exploring the inland region of Fraser Island. We're going to be checking out a majority of the southern inland sections. So Lake Birrabeen and Lake Boomanjin are the two main things on our to-do list for today. And there are a couple of other little inland lakes kind of hidden around those that if we can get to, we will explore. So really looking forward to that. And for the remainder of the afternoon, we are due back here at Central Station to camp again tonight to begin exploring more of the inland region tomorrow. So yeah, really looking forward to today and seeing what the adventure holds. It's going to be a really good day. So let's get into today's adventure. Here we go, we are on the tracks heading towards Lake Birrabeen. Is going to be our first destination. Really looking forward to it, see what it's like out there. From what I've heard, it's going to be really beautiful, so let's see. The inland tracks of Fraser were a lot of fun as we ploughed through this amazing ancient rainforest that makes up a large portion of the inland section of the island. The further inland you travel towards the centre of the island, the more dense the rainforest becomes, and the more coastal you head, it's more like normal bushland. This is due to the island's dune structure and the presence of certain oxides in the sand. These oxides allow the rainforest to even exist on a place like Fraser, which is completely 100% sand. Normally you wouldn't see anything like this, and that's why it's so unique. You won't find a rainforest like this anywhere else in the world. So here we are at Lake Birrabeen. Really keen to get down there and see how it is. It was a nice drive in, and we've got some blue sky, so it should be really nice. Wow, how pristine is this Lake Birrabeen? It's just absolutely fantastic. You could take a photo from any point along this beach here and it'd look like it had come off a postcard. The sand is just white, the lake is crystal clear, there's no one else here. It's absolutely beautiful. This is the first bit of blue sky that we've actually gotten on this trip too, and what a blessing it has been for Lake Birrabeen. This is just fantastic. It really doesn't get much better than this. I mean, how beautiful. It's paradise here on earth. And what a great first stop for the day, and our first big stop on the Fraser Adventure. I mean, absolutely incredible. It's just breathtaking down there. You really can't get much better than the inland Fraser Lakes. I mean, these compete with some of the most amazing places in the world, and it isn't hard to see why. Righto, so what's next for us, fearless leader?
Well, mate, I think we'll go down to Lake Boomanjin, because that's the next one down, about 15, 18 Ks, whatever it is. Check that out. This one's been really good. I quite like this one.
Yeah, it's nice, yeah.
And no time frame, no other real plan. Plan is, there is no plan. We'll just hope for the best and just do it.
Fair enough.
Do it in the sand.
Absolutely. These inland tracks here on Fraser are like otherworldly. It's pretty cool as you change ecosystems. The more you move throughout the island, and the further south we head, the more of these inland sort of mangroves or swamps, if you would call them, that you see. And then you also start to see like parts of rainforest, and then back to bushlands and stuff. It's really cool how diverse it is through here, and yeah, it definitely feels out of this world. You wouldn't think that you're on a giant sand island, let's put it that way. Righto, we have made it down to the foreshore of Lake Boomanjin, and to be honest, there's not really that much here. Due to the lake's increased water level, you can't actually really get anywhere without getting your feet wet. There's no real access to any of the beaches, and there is no real beach here. It's a really, really big lake compared to the other one, Lake Birrabeen, but yeah, I was hoping to be able to kind of have a bit more of a walk up a beach or something like that, but yeah, that's all right. All part of the adventure, all fun. It's still a really beautiful spot. Really nice picnic area up there to have lunch at, and I believe that we are going to do that. So looking forward to that part at least anyway. Wow, the other side of the lake there has just got this beautiful kind of red mix in there with the sand. It's just incredible. I mean, I really wish that there was a way we could get over there, because man, that would be incredible to see. Nonetheless, this has been a really nice little stop, I think, at Lake Boomanjin. So the plan for the next phase of today's adventure is to actually head further inland and then out towards the west coast. We're going to check out a little track that takes us out there, so looking forward to that. And then by the end of the day we would have sort of done this big loop. So after we check out the west coast, we'll begin heading back in towards Central Station. It's been a fantastic day so far of exploring these inland lakes. Absolute gems, and I can't get enough of how beautiful they are. True paradise here. Well, the next part of today's adventure would have us heading further inland and attempting to get to the southwest coastline of the island. We'd seen some absolutely incredible lakes today, and what a better way to top it off than visit the west coast. The southwest part of the island has a lot less traffic than the northwest, and it boasts some amazing views. But first we had to get there, and that meant tackling some of the more remote and less used tracks on the island, and boy were we in for some fun. So we're finally at the end of the inland track. We made it to Ungowa here on the west coast of Fraser Island. It's a fun little drive back there through some of those long little puddles. That was cool. First time I've ever done anything sort of like that. Yeah, really awesome drive in. So this is an absolutely stunning little spot here. So crystal clear. The cool thing about the west side of the island is that the entire island acts as a windbreak. So you're not going to get many waves on this side. So it just kind of makes for this beautiful, peaceful kind of atmosphere all along the west coast. Anyway, let's have a look at this beautiful spot. This spot is absolutely stunning. Would you just have a look at how peaceful it is out there? As I said before, the island acts as sort of like a wave break for all this inland channel between Australia, which is over there, and Fraser Island over here. So it's really, really peaceful and calm all throughout there. Even sort of in rough weather, it's calm. So absolutely amazing, this spot. I'm really glad that we ended up doing that bit of an extra drive back there and push through those obstacles. What a reward. So now we are going to slowly begin our trek inland again and back towards camp. There's not really a plan set in stone. We're just going to kind of explore a little bit and go down some other tracks and whatnot, and then head back to camp later on in the afternoon. What an absolutely awesome adventure it's been today. We've seen some beautiful spots, absolute paradise here on Fraser Island, and I don't think we've been disappointed with any of them. This though, this is going to be hard to beat. This is a beautiful spot right here. Anyway, I'm keen to see what the rest of the day brings. I mean, it's been fantastic so far. So let's see where we end up. After leaving Ungowa, we headed up north via another inland track and back towards the main inland road that covers the entire island. It was a pretty cool little loop that we had covered today with some amazing destinations. I think that we had done and dusted the hardest obstacles of the day, and we could look forward to a relaxing afternoon of exploring. So here we are at one of the barge landings on the west side of the island. This is where we normally actually come on when we visit Fraser, or we have visited Fraser in the past. So we're just up a little bit from where we were before, down one of the inland tracks, and it brings you out here. So yeah, it's a nice peaceful little inlet. This barge is very heavily tide influenced. So when the tide's all the way out, obviously this barge won't run. And when the tide's in, you've got a limited window of only a few hours to run as many services as possible. So cool little spot, very, very peaceful. It's a nice peaceful ride if you get a barge on the west side of the island, as the channel is usually calm. So yeah, cool little stop off, and now I believe we're going to continue trekking on back inland. After leaving the barge landing, we were back on the main inland track that connects the barge landing on the west coast to Yurong on the east coast. As we drove further inland back towards our camp at Central Station, the bushland changed back to thick, dense rainforest the closer we got. So we are, made it back to camp. It's actually a fairly reasonable hour, but just the cover of the trees here and the rainforest make it seem so dark. What an epic day we had today exploring, checking out those two inland lakes, and then the barge landing site and the west coast. That was awesome. So I'm really looking forward to the next few days of exploring the inland region. I know that tomorrow Steve has Lake Mackenzie planned, which is the most well-known freshwater lake on the island. So we're really, really keen for that. So I suppose for the night we're just going to quickly pack up before it gets too dark in here under the tree cover, and then yeah, we'll just kind of sit around for the night and prepare ourselves for tomorrow. Well, thanks for watching this part of our Fraser adventure, guys. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in part 2.
I nearly fell over. Sorry, Jake, missed that part.